I signed my own death warrant with a ballpoint pen that afternoon, but it wasn't suicide. It was the first strike in a war I never asked for. My brother's hand trembled as he forced the ink onto the paper, his eyes wild with that mix of greed and fear only blood can breed, while I watched from inside his skin like a ghost in a stolen suit. And just like that, in the span of a heartbeat, I became the villain of my own life, ready to burn it all down to drag him into the flames with me. The air in that lawyer's office reeked of stale coffee and desperation, the kind that clings to faded dreams in the windy city. Chicago, 2025, same old grind, just with more drones buzzing the skyline and AI whispering sweet nothings into every boardroom ear. I'd clawed my way back from the abyss, built an empire from a prison cell's worth of smuggled code, and now here I was, Raven Hale, staring down the barrel of betrayal reloaded. It started 12 years ago, back when I was 22 and dumb enough to think family meant forever. Our old man, Eddie Hale, ran a chop shop in the shadow of the old steel mills on the south side. Nothing fancy, just enough to keep the lights on and the booze flowing. But Eddie had dreams bigger than his liver could handle. He dipped into some shady real estate flips, cooking the books with a crew of Ben accountants who promised the moon and delivered federal indictments instead. The feds came calling one muggy July night, badges flashing like lightning over Lake Michigan. Dad's crew scattered like roaches, but he froze, that deer-in-headlights look I'd seen 1,000 times after one too many fifths. Me? I was home from community college, interning at a startup that paid in ramen and regret. I could have lawyered up, pointed fingers, let the chips fall. But blood's thicker than indictments, right? So I confessed. Said it was all me. The forgeries, the wire fraud, the $1 million ghost that vanished into offshore accounts. Dad wept like a baby when the marshals cuffed me, swore he'd make it right. My brother, Jax, just stood there in the doorway, 16 and already built like a linebacker, his jaw set like he was chewing on nails. "You're a hero, Rav," he muttered, but his eyes? They were calculating the score. Federal pen in Terre Haute swallowed me whole. 5 years for wire fraud, they said, but it felt like 50. Concrete walls, fluorescent hum, the endless parade of lifers trading war stories like currency. I adapted quick, kept my head down, my code sharp. Turns out, prison's the ultimate incubator if you've got a laptop and a grudge. Smuggled in parts, pieced together a rig under the bunk. Late nights, I'd hack freelance gigs on the dark web, algorithms for hedge funds, bots for black hat traders. By year 2, I had a shell company, Nexus Veil, buried under layers of proxies. No face, no name, just code that whispered fortunes. Nexus grew like kudzu in the dark. Started with predictive AI for stock plays, evolved into full-spectrum neural nets that could game any market.
Client?
Anonymous whales from Wall Street to Silicon Alley, funneling crypto that piled up like digital snowdrifts. By release day, Nexus was valued at $47 million, all mine, all invisible. I'd scripted it that way, autonomous, untouchable. The board was bots, the CEO a ghost. Parole hearing came in 23, and I walked out a free man at 34, looking every bit the hollowed-out husk the system intended. South Side hadn't changed. Same potholes, same corner boys slinging dreams in baggies. Dad was gone. Liver gave out 2 years prior, chasing ghosts with Jack Daniels. Jax? He'd climbed. Big Brother was 30 now, VP at Hale Dynamics, a defense contractor sucking at the government's teat. Suits, steak dinners, a McMansion in Oak Park. He'd married Lena, some leggy paralegal with trust fund cheekbones, and they had a kid on the way. Picture perfect if you ignored the cracks. I kept low. Rented a walk-up in Wicker Park, furnished with thrift store ghosts. Days blurred into code sprints, nights into burner phone calls with Nexus handlers. Wealth whispered, offshore vaults, untraceable wires, but I craved normalcy, or whatever passed for it. That's when Jax called. Family meeting, bro, dad's estate. Need your John Hancock. The lawyer's office was a tomb of mahogany and regret, perched on the 42nd floor of the Aeon Center. Jax paced like a caged wolf, Lena perched on the leather sofa, scrolling her phone with manicured indifference. Old Man Miller, The family attorney since the Nixon era droned about probate. Dad's will, a tangle of liens and IOUs, but one asset shown, a patent from the chop shop days, some half-baked drone tech Eddie had sketched on napkins. Worth peanuts then, but now? Post-drone wars in the Middle East, it was a gold mine. $2 mill easy, if signed over to Hale Dynamics. You're the executor, Rav, Miller said, sliding the docs across. Your signature unlocks it all. Jax here's got the company primed, government contract pending. Jax's eyes bored into me, that same calculating glint from the night of the raid.
Small man.
For the family. Lena's due in 3 months. We need this. I flipped the pages, ink smudging under my thumb. The patent was junk, Eddie's fever dream, riddled with flaws I'd spotted at 16. But signing meant absolution, or so I told myself. Betrayal's a slow poison. You don't taste it till the convulsions hit. Pen hit paper. Done. Jax exhaled like a man surfacing from depths. You're a lifesaver, Rav. He clapped my shoulder, grip lingering too long. Lena smiled. All teeth and no warmth. Miller notarized, and we spilled into the elevator, city lights smearing like oil on glass. That's when the world inverted. We hit the parking garage, Jax's Tesla purring in the shadows. Ride with us? Celebrate. His voice was honey over razor wire. I nodded, sliding into the back. Lena up front, cooing at the nav. Jax keyed the ignition, but instead of exhaust, a hiss gas? Needle prick in my neck? Darkness swallowed me, chemical sweet, and my last thought was Jax's reflection in the rear view. Triumph. Woke strapped to a gurney in a sterile white room, no windows, just the beep of monitors and the tang of ozone. My body wrong. Limbs too long, shoulders broader, a stranger's pulse thundering in my ears. I flexed, felt the fabric of a silk shirt, cufflinks glinting gold. Jax's shirt. Jax's hands. What the fuck? My voice boomed, deeper, laced with his Midwestern drawl. A door hissed open. There I was, my face, my lanky frame. Strapped down opposite, eyes fluttering open.
Raven.
My own voice, hoarse, pleading. Jax in me grinned, that crooked Hale smirk. Welcome to the new you, brother. He explained it casual, like pitching a merger. Experimental neural transplant, black market biotech from a rogue lab in Shenzhen. Not full swap, he clarified, but close. Consciousness mapped, bodies exchanged via quantum entanglement bullshit. He'd been planning it for months, ever since Dad's will surfaced. See, Eddie hadn't just drunk himself dead. He'd confessed on his deathbed. The real fraud?
Jax.
Big Bro had forged the chop shop docs at 15, testing waters for his own hustles. I'd taken the fall blind, but Dad knew, left the patent to me as penance. Jax wanted it all, the patent windfall, Nexus. He'd sniffed it out via shady audits, my life scrubbed clean. You were always the ghost, Rav. Time I stepped into the light. He'd kill this body, mine, post-swap. Accident. Overdose on the gurney, grief-stricken brother mourning. Insurance, assets, all his. I'd rot in his shell, penniless, forgotten. But Jax underestimated the code in my veins. As he prepped the syringe, I hacked the room's IoT, voice commands masked as delirium. Lights flickered, doors locked. His tech, his downfall. I broke free, his body a weapon I'd wield like a borrowed gun. First strike, the pen. I forced it into my old hand, his now, scrawling a confession on the patent docs. Jax Hale, fraud, murder, identity theft. Timestamped, uploaded to Nexus servers. Then the syringe. Into his vein, not mine. Lights out. I dragged his limp form, my face slack, to the Tesla. Drove south toward the lake, weights from a gym bag. Midnight plunge, body sinking, bubbles rising like accusations. Cops called it suicide. Overdose, the coroner said. Note matches the signature. World mourned Raven Hale. Tragic heir. Jax, the golden boy, VP, vanished into legend. But I wore his skin now, his life a poorly fitted suit. Lena noticed first, off vibes, the way I flinched at mirrors. You okay, honey?
Even up, bloating.
Nexus hummed, $47 mill, and climbing. I rerouted funds, buried trails.
Hale dynamics?
I gutted it from within, leaked bids, tanked stocks. Controversial? Hell yes. I framed whistleblowers, blackmailed execs, decisions that'd make a devil blush. Each move a knife twist. For the years stolen, the fall I took. Twist came at the funeral. Black suits, rain-slick graveside. Lena, swollen with child, clung to me. Jax. Pastor droned platitudes. Then Miller approached, envelope in hand. One more thing from Eddie. Dad's letter, yellowed, addressed to me. Not fraud confession, no. DNA results tucked in an old Bible. Jax wasn't his. Mom's affair, some mill worker ghost. Eddie raised him anyway, but the patent?
Bait.
He'd known Jax's greed, planned the swap as test. If he tries, Raven end it. Blood or not. The real secret, Nexus, wasn't mine alone. Eddie, dying, had fed me code snippets, his own AI sketches, stolen from the patent. I'd built on lies. Climax brewed in the boardroom. Months later. Hail dynamics teetering. Investors circling. I called emergency meeting. Jax Hale. Visionary. Execs filed in. Lena at my side. Oblivious. Brothers, I said, voice cracking Jax's timbre. Time for truth. Screens lit. Confessions. Swaps documented via hacked cams. Dad's letter projected. Gasps rippled. Lena recoiled, hand to belly. Jax? What? I lunged, not for blood, but code. Final hack. Nexus virus, devouring Hale servers.
Millions vaporized.
You took my body. I hissed to the ghost in my reflection. I take your empire. Cops swarmed post-reveal. Lena screamed denials. Execs scattered.
Me?
I slipped the noose. New identity cued. Nexus core intact. Fled to the coasts. Sun-bleached anonymity. Ending? Debatable. Justice or madness. I saved the kid, Lena's boy, my nephew. Raised him quiet, teaching code over crib songs. Empire rebuilt, smaller, sharper. But mirrors still lie. Whose eyes stare back? Raven's or the monster he became? The salt air of Santa Monica hit like a reset button, sharp and unforgiving, the kind that strips away the rust of inland sins. I'd ditched the Tesla for a beat-up Jeep Cherokee, cash buy from a lot in Reno, plates swapped twice before California. Nexus Veil? Repurposed into Ether Core, a leaner beast AI ethics consultancy, ironically. Clients paid top dollar for audits that whitewashed their own greeds. Ironic. Yeah, but survival's a bitch with no moral compass left. Lena's calls started a week post-funeral. Blocked numbers, voicemails laced with hysteria. Jax, please. The baby's kicking. What did you do to Raven? I'd listen on beach walks, Pacific crashing judgment, delete without reply. The kid, named him Elias, after Mom's old flame from the letter, waited in a trust, $5 mill seated, guardians my proxies. Clean break, or so I thought. Jax's body adapted slow. His frame packed muscle from CrossFit obsessions, but I moved like a glitch, jerky in suits, fluid in hoodies. Tattoos peaked, a wolf on his ribs, inked during my prison stint, a gift from Dad's crew. I covered it with ink of my own, a raven in flight, wings clipped by chains. Symbolic? Fuck yeah. Mirrors became enemies. I'd shave in the dark, letting stubble grow wild. Ether thrived in the valley's underbelly. Office in a co-working hive off El Camino, glass walls humming with startup fever dreams. I hired remote, coders from Bangalore, ethicists with PhDs and grudges. First big gig. Auditing a fintech giant's bias algo. They paid $2 mill to hear their sins sanctified. Nights I'd prowl Venice boardwalk, blending with buskers and burnout yogis, inhaling the weed haze like absolution. But ghosts don't stay buried. 3 months in, a ping. Encrypted Nexus remnant. Auto alert. Someone sniffing old trails. Hail Dynamics remnants. Rebranded under Lena's cousin, a slick operator named Vance. He'd clawed the corpse, Pitching drone patents to DoD. My signature, forged now, unlocked scraps, but Vance wanted more. The email. Mr. Hale, opportunity.
Meet.
Neutral ground. Neutral. The Standard Hotel, rooftop bar, sunset bleeding orange over the sprawl. I arrived early, ball cap low. Jax's Rolex ticking accusations. Vance waited, silver fox in linen, martini sweating.
Jax.
Heard about Raven. Tragic. Cut the shit. I growled, Jax's baritone rumbling low. What do you want? He slid a tablet over, schematics, Dad's patent digitized, laced with my old Nexus code. Your brother's ghost in the machine. Eddie fed you scraps, but you built the feast. Sign over IP. 20% equity in New Hale. Equity? A noose dressed as silk. Vance knew. Rumors swirled post-collapse, whispers of swaps and suicides. Controversial play. Accept, infiltrate, dismantle from inside. Or burn it now, risk exposure. I signed. Pen steady this time. Deal. Infiltration started smooth. New Hale's HQ in Irvine. Glass monolith baking under SoCal sun. Vance's office. Golf trophies, family pics, Lena's kid. Elias, grinning toothless at 6 months.
Gut Punch.
I played Jack's consummate. Schmoozed brass, greenlit bids. Behind screens, I wove worms, subtle, eating data, like termites. Lena appeared at month 2, unannounced. Boardroom ambush, her in pencil skirt, postpartum fierce.
Jax.
We need to talk. Execs cleared out, tension thick as smog. She paced, heels clicking judgment. Raven's death. It broke something. But you're different. Colder. Heart hammered. Mine or his. Grief does that, Len. She stopped, eyes narrowing. I found the letter. Eddie's. About the affair. And the swap tech. Your Shenzhen contact ghosted, but I traced receipts. Jax, if you're him. Denial surged, but twist. She didn't recoil. Leaned in, whisper hot. I knew about the fraud. Jax confessed years ago, after you went down. I begged him to come clean. But power. It warps.
Alliance.
Betrayal's echo. Controversial. Trust her, risk all. Or silence her, orphan the kid. I chose words. What if I am? What then? Tears, then resolve. Help me bury it. For Elias. Packed sealed over takeout in my hotel suite. Sushi rolls and secrets spilled. Lena's angle. Vance, not Jax, pulled strings. Cousin married into the firm preemie, siphoned funds, framed the collapse on Raven's suicide. Jax?
Pawn like me.
Deeper betrayal. Dad's affair hid worse. Vance was blood, half-brother. Eddie's bastard from the mill days. Patent? His birthright theft. Climax brewed in the desert. New Hale test site, Mojave Flats, drones humming like locusts. Demo day. DoD brass, Vance preening. I rigged the swarm. Nexus core, hijacked. Mid-flight, they inverted. Kamikaze dive, no explosions, just precision crashes, patent shredded in sand. Chaos erupted. Vance roared. Sabotage. Feds swarmed. Lena vanished into the dust.
Me?
I bolted, Jeep screaming toward Barstow. Twist hit via burner. Her text. Not Vance.
Me.
I greenlit the swap, Jax's idea, but my funding. For the kid's future. Raven. Forgive. Rage boiled, hot as the sands. Controversial end. Mercy or mirror. I drove back, confronted in the wreckage. She stood defiant, Elias's photo clutched. End it then. But the truth dies with us. I didn't. Instead, code, final gift. Uploaded everything. Swaps, frauds, her complicity. Public ledger. Blockchain eternal. World watched New Hale implode, headlines screaming, Tech Dynasty's dark swap scandal. Fled north. Big Sur Cliffs. Lena? Disappeared, custody battle lost. Elias? Safe with my proxies. Raised on truths I'd script later. Debatable victory. Empires fall. But souls? Fractured forever. I code by firelight now. Raven in wolf skin, wondering if revenge rebuilt or just reshaped the cage. Big Sir's fog rolls in like a confessor, thick and absolving, wrapping the redwoods in secrets that even the waves can't wash away. I'd hold up in a cabin off Highway 1, cash lease, no trace, where the internet flickered like a junkie's vein, just enough for ether's tendrils. Mornings, black coffee, code commits. Afternoons, hikes into the mist, Jax's legs carrying Raven's ghosts. Elias's photo pinned to the fridge, 6 months old, eyes like mine or Jax's. Blood blurs. Scandals aftershocks hit like tsunamis. CNN loops. Body swap billionaire hoax rocks tech world. Pundits dissect. Ethics panels. Congressional hearings. Vance in cuffs. Lena vanished. Rumors. Witness protection or shallow grave.
Me?
Jax Hale, presumed dead in a hiking accident. Jeep over a cliff. Staged clean. Autopsy? Burned in the wreck. Insurance paid out to trusts I'd rerouted. Ether morphed again. Phantom net. Underground oracle for the displaced. Hackers, whistleblowers, lost souls paid in crypto for truths I'd unearthed.
Profitable. Poetic.
But isolation breeds paranoia. Every twig snap was Fed's, every shadow Lena's ghost. Contact came encrypted 6 months in. Raven. We need you. Sender. Nexus remnant. Auto ping from an old handler, Dr. Alara Voss, the Shenzhen Ghost's stateside puppet. She'd ghosted post-swap, but now, coordinates, a warehouse in Oakland. Drive north, fog lifting to Bay Bridge glare.
Warehouse, Rust Belt relic, guards and tack vests.
Alara waited inside, 50s, sharp bob, lab coat over jeans.
Jax.
Or should I say? Raven. I corrected, Jax's voice gravel. Talk. She led to a clean room, humming servers, cryotubes like sci-fi sarcophagi. The swap wasn't unique. Prototype. Your father's patent? Not drones, neural mapping. Eddie stole it from me pre-mill days. I was his partner, until the affair soured it. Twist layered. Alara, mom shadow? No. Dad's colleague, jilted. She'd seeded Nexus code as lore, knowing Jax's greed. I wanted the fall guy. You built it better than dreamed. Betrayal fractal. Controversial. Ally or expose. She offered reversal, swap back if I signed Phantom to her lab. Body mine again, empire hers. Temptation nod. Jax's frame chafed, his allergies to shellfish I'd learned the hard way over takeout. His golf swing I faked at charity galas. But reversal? Risky, untested. One glitch, souls smeared. I signed, dubious. Procedure. 3 days, for drips and VR hellscapes. Visions assaulted, prison cells morphing to boardrooms, Dad's deathbed rants looping. Woke in recovery, body mine. Lanky, scarred, familiar ache in the knee from a teen brawl. Freedom's first breath, gasp. But Alara's eyes gleamed wrong. Welcome back, Mr. Hale. Hale? Not Raven. Mirror confirmed. My face, but micro-expressions Jax's. Twitch at the jaw. Partial swap. She'd kept hooks, neural tethers. Control subtle. Suggestions, compulsions. Sign this, she'd whisper, and my hand obeyed. Climax ignited in the lab's core. Alara's play. Ransom phantoms all go to Chinese buyers, me as front. Meeting set. Private jet to Vancouver, Vance's old contacts. I flew, body rebelling, sweats, whispers urging compliance. Tarmac ambush. Lena, hooded, flanked by mercs. Alara's double-cross. She's selling us all, swap tech to the highest bidder. Alliance reloaded, blood be damned. We stormed the jet, me with a stolen taser, her with a .38 from God knows where. Buyers, suited triad ghosts, briefcases of laundered green. Chaos. Shots muffled, taser zaps. Alara emerged from shadows, syringe gleaming. The tether ends tonight. Frenzy peaked. Lena down to guard. I grappled Alara. Bodies colliding, souls clashing. Controversial kill. Snapped her neck, Jax's strength in my frame. No regret, just release. Tether severed, mind mine. Looted drives, swap blueprints, Nexus origins. Burned the jet, fled into Cascades. Lena and I, uneasy convoy, her SUV tailing my rental. Truth reversed again. Over campfire whiskey, she confessed full. Elias.
He's yours.
Jack's sterile, swap side effect. I knew. Push the procedure to trap you both. Shockwave. Fatherhood. Stolen twice. Debatable mercy. Forgive, rebuild? Or Strander, claim the boys solo? I chose hybrid. Co-parent pact, no rings. Drove south. Borders blurring. The Southwest sprawls like a fever dream, canyons carving red wounds into the earth, mirroring the gashes in my timeline. Lena and I zigzagged I-40, burner phones and cash drops, Elias's bassinet bouncing in her backseat. 6 months on the lam. Bodies healing but souls? Frayed threads, stitching loose. Phantom net peaked then. Clients flocking to the scandal's echo, paying for escape hatches. I'd code for motel Wi-Fi. Algorithms whispering safe houses, forged IDs. Lena handled logistics, her paralegal smarts, twisted now into survival. Nights, we'd split a room, her on the pull-out, me pacing, debating the boys' future. College funds ironclad, I'd say. She'd nod, eyes haunted. But who tells him about the swaps? Truth's a bomb, timer ticking. Elias gurgled oblivious, tiny fists clutching air. My air, now. Betrayal's final layer peeled in Albuquerque, a nondescript taqueria off Route 66. Contact. Anonymous drop, USB in the salsa bowl. Plugged in at a cyber cafe. Files from Miller, the old lawyer. Eddie's full confession, video grainy from hospice bed. Boys, Dad wheezed, oxygen mask fogging. It wasn't fraud. The chop shop? Cover for black ops. CIA wet work. Drones for shadows. Raven, you took the fall 'cause I asked.
Jax.
He knew. Sold specs to rivals. But the patent? Key to it all. Alara? My handler. The affair? Disinfo. Reversal gutted. No family greed, just Cold War ghosts thawed in the digital age. I'd built Nexus on spook code. Revenge a puppet show. Vance, Lena's cousin? Plant like Alara. Climax crashed in the desert outside Vegas. Neon ghosts, slot machine hum distant. Drop site, abandoned test range, Rusta Humvees like skeletons. We arrived dusk, Elias bundled. Figures emerged, feds, not triad black suits, earpieces. Mr. Hale, lead agent drawled, Southern Steel. Or Raven.
Or whatever's left.
Time to come in. Lena froze. I scooped the boy. Swap Smith. I bluffed. Jax's bravado lingering. Prove it. They did. Dossiers, psych evals, neural scans from the lab raid. Alara's death? Covered, but tethers traced. My mind a mosaic, Raven 70%, Jax 30%, echoes of Dad's ops. Controversial stand, surrender or scorched earth. I triggered Phantom's kill switch, global net purge, client data torched. Chaos rippled. Markets dipped, hacks exposed. Agents smirked. We own it all. Eddie's will?
Ours.
The kid? Leverage. Lena snapped, gun flashed, shot wild. Feds returned fire. I dove, Elias wailing. Dust storm of lead, neon flares. Controversial mercy. I shot back, Jax's aim true. Agents down, not dead, just winged. Fled into night, Jeep coughing alkali. Lena slumped, gut shot, blood blooming. Elias. Yours. Love him enough for us. She faded under stars, Vegas glow mocking. Buried her shallow, GPS jammed. Boy in arms, drove east, heart a void, empire ash. Ending, debatable dawn. Settled in the Appalachians, holler shack, off-grid. Elias grew, toddler now, chasing fireflies, calling me da. Phantom's embers? Whispers enough for homeschool code, garden greens.
Twistlingers, scans light?
Or am I Jax, dreaming Raven's revenge? Mirrors crack under scrutiny, but the boys laugh?
Pure.
Happy? In fragments. Tragic? If you count the bodies. World debates my ghost, folklore or fugitive. While I teach him, build secret, sign nothing, trust blood at your peril. Revenge cycle. I broke it, or just recast the players. You decide.